Carmela, what is the most expensive wine in the world?
It's gotta be Burgundy?
That's right. And what grape is red Burgundy wine made from?
Ooh, Pinot Noir.
That's right. So how about we go on a little search to see if we can find great Pinot Noir at a reasonable price?
Sounds like a plan.
Let's do it.
Yay!
Hello, and welcome to the Wine Pair Podcast. I'm Joe, your sommelier of reasonably priced wine, and this is my wife and my wine pairing partner in crime, Carmela.
Hi there.
And we are the Wine Pair.
Yay.
All right, a quick orientation for those of you who may be new to the podcast. In each episode, what we do is we learn about and we taste and we review 3 wines that are reasonably priced, which means under $20, and should be easy for you to find. And our goal is to have some fun, to learn about some new wines, and talk about wines in a way that regular old people like us can understand.
Why does it have to be about old?
I didn't mean it in old way. It's just regular people.
Okay.
And we are proud to say that we are officially recommended by the editors of Decanter magazine, who call us fun, irreverent, chatty, and entertaining.
Oh my goodness.
And ladies and gentlemen, Carmela has fixed her hair and is now ready for the podcast, even though you can't see her.
Right. Well, I just figure you have to look good when you're on a podcast.
For me, for your pair.
It's like
That's
date
right.
night, podcast.
Woo-hoo. Okay, Carmela, today we're going to talk about 2 of my very favorite things in the whole world, and in fact,
me?
yes, other than you.
And me.
And 2 other things. And in fact, these things are sort of the germ behind the idea of what this whole Wine Pair podcast thing is in the first place.
Give it to me.
So let me ask you this. What's my favorite wine?
You love a Pinot Noir.
You're right. And what do I love most to find when I am looking for a Pinot Noir?
A reasonably priced Pinot Noir.
Oh my God, it's like
See how I
she
know
knows
you?
me. She didn't even read the script. Okay.
No.
So, in wine parlance, that's a 10-cent word, Carmela, we call finding a diamond in the rough or a screaming deal where the experience of the wine far outweighs the cost of the wine, a wine with a great QPR. And what does QPR stand for?
Quality, price, ratio.
You got a quality to price ratio. You're so smart.
Oh my goodness. Thank God.
So QPR is just a fancy name or a fancy shortening or whatever for something that I think most people do when they are shopping.
Why
like
am
they
I
like to
on
do.
the spot today? I feel like
I don't
I've been
know,
on the spot.
but I didn't put you on the spot.
Okay,
So in general, people love to find items that are high quality at a low price, don't you think?
Yeah, well, of course. Who doesn't like a bargain?
Exactly, and that's
Like
why
a good bargain.
a
Like
good
a
bargain, not a bad
quality bargain.
Exactly, and that's why places like places like Costco are so popular. But
I went to Costco today.
You did? Did you buy me anything?
No. I got a wreath for our door.
Aretha? Aretha Franklin?
Yeah, she's coming over for
All
dinner
right,
too.
respect.
No, I got a wreath, but I missed you.
Oh, that's because that
Sorry.
usually is our date spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, going back to this, that finding that magic spot of, speaking of spots, that magic spot of high quality and low price can be real hard. And why do you think that is, Carmela?
Because it's just not easy to find, something like that that's going to be reasonably priced.
I think so.
Especially
I think
when you're
that's
talking
right.
about the most expensive, something rather, and then trying to find that at a reasonable price that's good. It's challenging.
It's hard. And I also think, too, we are kind of conditioned to think that price is an indicator of quality, right? So, like, if something costs a lot, it must be really good. And if something doesn't cost as much, it might not be quite as good.
Well, and you sometimes say,
buy cheap.
Buy twice.
That's right. And I do say that. And I do think there are some things that some things are worth the price and some things are just like, we just get used to. We think expensive things are better, right? And that's why finding a wine with a great QPR or anything like a car or a shirt or a house or a great meal or something else we have to spend our money on is so attractive and something that people...
Satisfying.
Yeah, and people, exactly, people seek it out. They want to find it. And in fact, I think both of us are kind of that way. Some people may call us cheap or frugal.
No,
but I mean, I have
cheap.
trouble. You have trouble even buying like a shirt.
Okay, well, I struggle over clothes. I do. And shoes. Like anything over
God.
$20.
Oh, God.
It's like a struggle.
Yeah,
it's a real struggle. But food,
no problem.
even wine.
Yeah,
you buy all that wine.
But I don't think that's true, because I think the concept of QPR, or that quality to price ratio, is kind of the basic construct of our podcast, like I really love finding wines under $20 that you can find and are easy to drink.
But you don't buy just one bottle. You will buy a whole case of that bottle of wine that's under $20.
No, true. But I don't like to spend a lot more than $20 per bottle if I can help it, right? And I think most of my collection, if you can call it that, it's more like a random
closet
grouping.
Collection.
Yes, yeah. Is wine that is reasonably priced. Is why I call myself the sommelier of reasonably priced wine.
Right.
And it's not that I don't love expensive wines, but probably because the way I was raised, right? Mm-hmm. I'm kind of a sucker for a great wine at a low price.
A great deal when something's on special.
Yeah, and if I see a wine under $20 and I think I'm going to buy it. If I think it's going to be good.
Do people say special? They say, "Oh, it's on special." Like that's something your mom used to say.
Yeah,
instead of like
special.
On sale. Like,
I don't know.
"Oh, I got it on special."
Yes.
She'll say.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you say that?
No, I don't. But I also remember my aunt saying month's end. Do you remember month's end?
Like a month's end deal?
Yes. Like at stores, they would, at the end of the month, to clear out their inventory, they would have month's end.
Yeah.
And that was like a thing. Like
you didn't realize it was month apostrophe S.
No.
You're like month's end.
Month's end.
Started...
No, it's month's end. But the thing is that type of attitude is exactly why I am the way I am.
Well,
right?
For sure.
It's like, don't buy anything full price if you can help it, right?
We pretty much grew up in the same type of household.
Yeah, totally. But except in wine. So I'll talk about that in a second. But hopefully this will be the first of many episodes on finding Pinot Noirs with a good QPR. Assuming this is an episode that people like, we'll find out. And because most of the times in this episode too, we're going to be trying Pinot Noirs that we've never had before.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's kind of authentic. It's kind of dangerous. It could be that we find a bunch that we really like. It could be fine that we find a bunch that are kind of crappy.
Right, and we're doing work for you people.
Yeah,
we're like trying to do a little
You can learn
homework.
along the way with us.
Right, you can be like, oh.
I didn't have to make that mistake.
Right.
They made the mistake for me.
If we don't, I acted as if I didn't know it. If they.
Who are them? Who are they?
No, but I'm just saying, if you don't prefer our taste, then you'll know, hey, I should go out on the limb and try that because Joe didn't like it at all.
So I'm going to love it.
Yeah,
and I actually talk about that in a little bit too. No, you're totally spot on. Okay. So we'll talk about what we look for in a good QPR. We'll talk about some criteria you might want to consider when regarding where a good Pinot Noir that has a good QPR might come from. And we'll talk about and taste, as we said, 3 Pinot Noirs that we desperately hope, that will have high QPRs in a few minutes. But first, Carmela,
our shameless plug.
That's right. If you are enjoying our show so far, and why wouldn't you be enjoying it?
Right.
Why don't you just go ahead and subscribe to the podcast or leave us a nice rating and review on our website or on the podcast service of choice. So people who are looking around, they're like, hey, I need to find a new podcast. They'll go, what the hell? That looks like a real good podcast. I don't know why I always use some weird accent when I do this.
Okay. Who are you imitating?
I have no idea. Okay. You can also follow us or reach out to us on Instagram at the Wine Pair Podcast or on Counter Social, which is our Twitter alternative. My goodness, of choice.
What a name, Counter Social.
I kind of like it. And you can also...
kind of contrary.
Well, that's kind of why I like it.
I figured.
Anyway, and then you can also contact us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. And as we do every week, we'll tell you someone we think you should tell about the Wine Pair Podcast. And this week, we want you to tell anyone who loves Pinot Noir or who loves a great deal.
Likes a great month's end.
A month's end. Wants to go to month. Do you remember month's end?
I do. I don't know why. I think I've actually
seen... I have distinct memories of my Aunt Agatha saying, we're going to month's end. And I actually thought month's end was a place.
A store. Yeah.
I thought it was like, we're going to month's end. Where's month's end? I've never heard of it.
I think they have it like on advertisements sometimes or like in coupon pages.
They don't do it anymore.
Well,
do they?
How do you know?
I don't know. Do they?
Why not? There's still ends to the month.
You're right.
So why not?
Technically, there are still ends to every month. There's no month yet.
Why?
We have not run into a month yet that just keeps going on forever.
True. See?
Okay, let's get back to what is high QPR in a Pinot Noir. So what are the criteria for finding wines with a good QPR? And I do think that QPR is relative. Like QPR is relative. So for instance, in my mind, a quality price to ratio indicates that the product is not expensive. But I think there can be times where the cost of the item is relative to the cost of other items in that category.
For sure.
Like what would an example be?
Well, I mean, even like a coat or something, like a jacket, like
or
a nice
house.
Oh, a house.
Right. A house isn't cheap, right?
Example.
But like a good house that you can find at a lower price, you're going to love that. That's high QPR. But it's like hundreds of thousands of dollars for something. It's not like it's cheap.
No. Okay,
So it's
but
relative.
That's
It's
big.
usually
That's
I know.
big comparison.
Yeah,
But
and
I like it.
Yeah, so QPR isn't like an absolute. It's not like, hey, it's this thing. And even in wine, that's true. So like I think about like one person's QPR may not be another person's QPR. I think about your dad, right?
True. Like his quality price ratio is a lot higher.
Yeah, I mean, he could say, "Oh, this Barolo was $70, but it should have been $100," and he'll be like, "That's an awesome deal."
Right.
And me, I'd be like, $70?
Holy cow.
I'll drink it, but I don't think I'm going to buy it because I would feel bad, and then you would kill me. I think.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I would. Well, you wouldn't tell me probably either.
I probably
Then
wouldn't.
I'd see the
I'd probably
bill.
lie.
I'd
probably
see
lie.
the
You're right.
statement
You're right.
because I always do, and
Yeah.
then I'd send you a picture and I'd say, "Hey, what is this all about?"
Yeah, and I will deny it like that. Somebody must have stolen the credit card. Let's put a fraud alert on that and get our money back. No, I will admit it. Okay, but for the purposes, let's get back. For the purposes of the podcast and the fact that one of our parameters is that the wine we taste and review is under $20, the QPR we are using does have an absolute value. So in this case, it's not relative. It's an absolute value. It has to be $20 or less. Right? Mm-hmm. So, and again, this is kind of the concept of our whole...
We're not making any exceptions.
No, and it's kind of the concept of our podcast, right? Under $20.
Right.
It's kind of
it's got to be
deal.
quality.
Right.
We're rating things based on what we believe are quality.
Under $20.
Right.
Exactly. So with that more or less settled, let's talk about what aspects would constitute a strong QPR for Pinot Noir or anything else other than price. So in other words, what are some things you could use as a judgment? Like you see this $20 or less wine, and what are some things you could use as a judgment to say, well, I think I might like this wine or it could have a good QPR? What are a few
maybe
things?
ratings, like somebody who's rating it that you believe in strongly.
Carmela, you are so good. I'm telling you, she fixed her hair, but she did not read the
That's
script.
why I know, because I fixed my hair.
You didn't read the show notes. Here
if
you
you
go.
bring it on, if you come prepared.
You're right. It's the hair.
Feeling good.
You're right. Like Cinderella. No, who is it? Who's the one with the hair?
They all have hair.
No, the one with the really long hair. Rapunzel. Okay. So
I love Rapunzel.
yeah, so let's talk about God, we are getting just off on tangents.
You brought her up.
Okay. So anyway, there are a few reviewers that I think highly of. And so these are the ones that I tend to look for. I tend to look for Wine Spectator. I tend to look for Vineyards or Antonio Galloni. I like Jancis Robinson. I usually like Decanter. Mm-hmm. And then there are some that I just don't like. I almost use them as the opposite. So we always bag on James Suckling, right?
Jimmy.
And I rather than going opposite, I kind of just ignore him because I'm like, everything he does is 90 points or more. But there is one, Robert Parker at the Wine Advocate, that I actively, if he likes something, I know I'm not going to like it. Not because his taste is wrong and my taste is right, but because we just have different tastes.
So have you basically you've tried some wines that people that you don't really, or like you thought, oh, this is a reviewer that I see a lot. I'm going to try a couple of different wines that they've reviewed, and then you've just found that your taste is totally different. Yeah.
I think with Robert Parker, he has a really specific. He loves really oaky wines, and I don't love really oaky wines, and that's kind of his thing. And I also tend not to pay much attention to customer reviews because I just don't know
who these people are.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to judge their taste. Mm-hmm. So with reviewers in wine, I can judge against their taste, which I think is valuable, which is what we hope you use our podcast for. Mm-hmm. So do you have another idea?
Probably what other wines that winemaker
I think
makes?
Exactly. I think a producer, if you can find a good producer and you trust that producer, you may go back to them over and over again. So I think there are a couple of producers. I haven't found any producers of Pinot Noir yet. Maybe we'll find one today where they make a good Pinot Noir under $20. I think that's super hard to find. I found some a little bit higher than that. So like our friends at Compton Wine, I really like their Pinot Noir. Trimbach makes a nice Pinot Noir for about $25. There is a Pinot Noir from Burgundy called Domaine de la Denante that you can find for under $20. It's pretty good, but in general, I think it's hard to do. But I think that's a really good one. I think another one is Regions, right?
Oh, sure.
So, the classic, of course, as we said at the beginning, the classic Pinot region is Burgundy. And you can get entry-level Pinot Noirs from Burgundy that aren't technically called Burgundy. And that's that one I just mentioned is an example. So, but they can be pretty good quality. There's, as I mentioned, Alsace, there are areas in France like Alsace that make Pinot Noir that aren't in Burgundy that are good. Another one is Sancerre. Like we've had Sancerre Rouge. We like that. It's not called Pinot. I mean, it's not called Burgundy. It's a Pinot Noir because it's not from Burgundy.
Right.
I think outside of France, I'm going to look for like more cooler climates. I don't love California Pinots unless they're like Santa Barbara area. I don't like Pinots from like Washington because the areas where wine grapes grow is super hot. So hot places, I don't like Pinots from warm places because I think they taste a little bit more like a Cabernet.
Oh, interesting. Makes sense.
Yeah, and some people swear by Willamette.
Who's all these people swearing?
Willamette, I don't know.
Cussing and swearing?
I don't know. They're just bad people. No.
Wow.
In the Willamette Valley in Oregon, I don't know if I've had the right Willamette Valley wines. Like we liked Compton. We've liked some, but I don't know that I think I need to step it up a little and try some of the more expensive Willamette and see what I think.
Okay.
And so I mentioned another one like styles, like or places too. So I think those are good. Like those are some shortcuts I think you could use to say, wow, okay, if it's from this region and it's from this producer and it's from this area and it's made in this style and the reviewer that I trust kind of likes it and it's under $20, I'm gonna make a good bet that has a good QPR.
I love it. That's helpful.
It?
Yes.
You love me?
I do love you.
Okay, so we're going to...
I'm professing my love on the podcast.
That's nice. And she flipped her hair too.
I didn't.
It's kind of sexy. She flipped her hair. That's weird.
Okay. What?
So we'll see if any of the 3 Pinot Noirs that we're going to taste today... I'm nervous. I will say I'm a little nervous.
Wow.
I'm a little nervous about that.
You don't get nervous because you know why?
I'm sweating.
Are you really?
I'm nervous.
Oh, maybe you're sick.
Could be a fever. There's some crud going around.
No.
But what were you going to say?
I think because you're kind of protective of the Pinot Noir.
I am.
Like I
am sensitive about it.
Yeah, I feel like you are a little bit like, oh, I just really want my favorite to shine through.
No, it's true because it's like if it's bad, then people are like,
it's kind of like
Pinot Noir is not that good.
It's
exactly.
Like
you want your child to act up,
right?
Like you're like, oh, you must be
you want to shine all the time.
Exactly, because it's a reflection on you. Like you're a good parent or a bad parent.
But wait a minute, you're not a parent to the Pinot Noir. You didn't even make it.
But it is special to me.
But I do think, that's why I'm saying, just don't worry so much. But no. But yeah, I can tell you're nervous. You don't get nervous about things like this.
I am. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit, we're going to talk a little bit about the Pinot Noirs that we chose. But again, any of this stuff that we've been talking about, you can find on our show notes. You just go to our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. You look for this episode, you look in the show notes, and we have articles and links and all sorts of stuff. Because I don't make up all this stuff, I look stuff up.
No,
I'm a look it up club kind of guy.
You totally are. You're educated.
I am educated, and I like to educate myself. And you know what? I was learning about...
Lifelong learner.
No, I was learning about that one of the ways to stave off dementia is... Oh my God, I forgot. No, I'm kidding. I was kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke. That's a total joke. Come on.
Wow.
It's learning
You're
stuff.
You're worrying me. Now I'm nervous.
No, I totally forgot. No, okay. Anyway.
Learning new things, challenging yourself.
Totally. Right. Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about some of the high QPR Pinot Noir that we chose for this episode. So again, all of the wines we're tasting and reviewing today, they definitely fall into the basic parameters of our podcast. They're all under $20. In fact, they're all under $17. How about that? Even better.
Goodness.
And we bought all of them on wine.com. So they should be reasonably easy to find. And then all of the wines we're trying today also come from California.
Oh,
so that's kind of interesting. So that's why I'm a little bit nervous because sometimes
you were just saying.
Yeah, I don't like California Pinot, so we're going to see.
Okay.
But you should be able to find these. I think if you're in California, you should be able to find them. But I know you can find them on wine.com. And then one of the things that you can use to judge a QPR is rating. So I'll also say that all of these wines have at least a 90 rating from what I would consider at least somewhat reputable sources. Even if you don't necessarily agree with them, a 90 rating or more is pretty good. So they all have a 90 rating from either Wine Enthusiast and or Decanter. So, again, somebody with some taste and has a job doing this.
So you did what you were explaining as being your criteria. You used that.
I tried to. Yes, I tried to use that today.
I love that.
I did. I did, except for the I did look for some cooler. Yeah, I did look for some cooler climate wines, but there are some. We'll talk about it in a second. There's one here that I'm very nervous about. Okay, so the first wine we're going to try is actually the most expensive one. It's called District 7 Pinot Noir, and it's from Monterey in the central coast of California. And this one received a 90 from both Wine Enthusiast and Decanter. And so this wine is from an area we've driven through many times, Carmela. Called the Salinas Valley in California.
Yes.
So on the way to San Luis Obispo, I always thought it was Louis until we got down there, and they're like, no, it's San Luis Obispo.
We were saying everything wrong when we got down there.
Yeah, and they do. It's true. Everything we said was wrong. We always wanted to make it an Italian accent, and it's wrong. But they comment in their description that the wine area is known for cool, windy, and foggy conditions. So that could be a good place to grow some Pinot. And Decanter says this wine over-delivers for the price.
Wow. So we love over-delivery.
For the price.
For the price.
That's right. So that feels just right for us. And Wine Enthusiast chose it as an editor's choice. So look, if there's a wine that should be a high QPR for a Pinot Noir, this one better be.
I hope.
So that's why we're starting out with that one. So maybe we can hit a winner right off the bat.
Woo!
Now, the second one is the one I'm a little worried about. So we're going to give it a shot. It's called McManis Family Vineyards Pinot Noir, and it's from Lodi, California. And that's a little bit warmer area of California than I would probably prefer. Now, Wine Enthusiast did give it a 90-point rating and called it a best buy, and it's only $12.99.
My goodness.
So if there's a wine for potential for a great QPR, this one could be it.
Let's hope.
But I am worried about it for a few reasons. First, because the only review is Wine Enthusiast, which I don't always love Wine Enthusiast reviews. The second, it's from an area of California, as I mentioned, that's not totally a cool climate. It's also not 100% Pinot Noir. They say that there's a little teeny bit of Petit Syrah. So that makes me a little bit nervous. And then it's a 2021, so it's probably too young.
Okay.
And then Wine Enthusiast describes the wine this way: warm, generous, rounded, and full-bodied. Which is weird because like Pinots are not supposed to be full-bodied.
Right.
That warm to me has a sense of like maybe it's hot, like too alcohol-y. Maybe it's, I don't know. So we're going to find out. We're not going to prejudge.
Okay, right.
That's not what we do. We don't prejudge.
No.
We post-judge.
Exactly.
We taste and then we judge.
Exactly.
That's what you're supposed to do,
you're not
right?
supposed to be judgy.
No.
Until you get to judge.
And then you can be judgy.
Right. Because then you give a rating and that's it.
And that's your judgment.
Right.
But don't judge before.
No.
Because how do you know?
You can't tell a book by its cover.
And you can't judge a look by the lover.
Wow.
I don't know what that...
I never heard that.
Yeah, it's from Stevie Wonder.
Oh.
Okay, anyway.
Wait, have I heard that? From what song?
I can't... You're putting me on the spot. I'm really nervous. I'm really nervous.
Okay, well, see how I feel? No, I did that on purpose. So you know.
On porpoise.
Okay,
here we go.
Excuse me.
So the last wine we were trying is... That was the worst... I don't even know. That was the worst attempt at a porpoise ever.
What does a porpoise even sound like?
Like Flipper. I know he was a dolphin, but they're kind of the same thing.
I love Flipper.
They're close.
I want a dolphin.
Can we just talk about the wine here? God, you did want a dolphin, but we're not going to talk about that. But if you could have found a dolphin for a low price, that would have been huge QPR.
I just had
a little dolphin. You want
I just needed a little that would fit in my.
You thought you could fit in your bathtub
or hot tub.
Really unhappy dolphin. Yeah. Okay, the last wine is called the Pinot Project Pinot Noir, which is a good alliteration. It's also from California, and yes, it's from California. Like it's sourced from Sonoma County, Monterey County, Central Coast Vineyards. So there's some potentially like cooler temp areas, but I always get a little bit nervous about wines where their grapes are from all over the place, but it could be good. We're going to find out.
Anything that's a project too, I feel like it's sort of still in the
You're working on it.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. So, it's a project.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
We might get it right, and then we'll stop. We'll stop calling it a project, and we'll call it a product. Okay, so anyway, both Wine Enthusiast and James Suckling gave the 2020 that we tasted a 90. But again, Suckling, I'm just going to take with a grain of salt because he gives everything a 90, and we'll see.
Sure enough, he gave it a 90, huh?
Yeah, no surprise there.
Wow.
Here's the other thing that I found interesting. Both Wine Enthusiast and James Suckling gave it a 90, but listen to what they say in their descriptions. Wine Enthusiast says, classic red and black cherries along with light cinnamon nuances. Okay.
Okay.
James Suckling said, herbs, strawberries, and hibiscus.
What?
I know, they don't even sound like they are the same wine.
I would say they must not have been drinking the same wine.
So we're going to find out if we taste any of these flavors.
With one or the other. We'll see.
Sucky James or Wine Enthusiastic, and we'll see.
Wow.
But this has a potential to be a good QPR because it's also $12.99. So okay. And then this winery too, I'll just say the Pinot Project. It's been written up in places like Forbes, the New York Times, and Wine Spectator as a good bargain. So we'll see. Bargain again doesn't always mean good. It just may mean a good price, but we're going to find out. Okay. And this is also a wine that evidently does okay chilled. And Pinot Noir is a wine that you can serve. You should serve at like cellar temperature. It shouldn't be really warm. Room temperature, but you can also serve it at slightly chilled. And these guys sell their wine in kegs and cans too.
Whoa.
So that means they don't take themselves too seriously. And I do like that. So, okay. What do you say? We've done a lot of jibber jabbering. Should we get down to tasting some Pinot Noir? Because you and I have had a long week and we both need some wine.
Woo! I'm in. I'm ready. Now I'm like pumped.
All right. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
All right.
Okay, we are back and we're ready to try our first wine. So this first wine again is the District 7 Pinot Noir. It's from California, the Monterey area in the Central Coast. The producer is District 7. This is a 2020, so still a little young, but that's okay. $16.99 at wine.com. It's 13.5% alcohol. It's 100% Pinot Noir, and it got a 90 from Decanter and Wine Enthusiast and was an editor's choice. And
it's a screw top.
A screw top. We like those a lot. Okay, what are you smelling?
Let's see.
It's got kind of that cherry and raspberry. Yeah, it's got some smoke, but I can smell the cherry or the light cherry or the raspberry. Like tart fruit. It does have a little smoke. I always think too, like Pinot Noir can often have kind of an earthy kind of smell. You know, like dirt, like clay. I think it can have kind of a clay kind of smell to it. It's nice.
Yeah, no, I like it. I can kind of get that raspberry. I can get behind that. It's definitely,
like a sour cherry too.
Yeah, a little bit, a little more tart than it's definitely. It's almost it smells like a Pinot.
It does
right away. Like it doesn't have that big. It's not super intense. Feels a little lighter.
I will say though, it's a little darker for a Pinot. I kind of feel like in the glass it's a little purpley.
It is a little purpley. It's very pretty.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Pinots are always so pretty.
Yeah, I feel like. Yeah. This one is a little dark though. Okay, let's taste it. Ooh, it's very tart.
Yeah, it's good. I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's very tart.
I'm gonna have to see.
It's very tart cherry tasting. I think it's a little
young.
Yeah, I think it needs some time.
It's kind of thin.
Yeah, but Pinots can be that way, and that's okay. Right. But it's like it hasn't quite opened up. And we also. I said this before we went on. I should have opened these up, actually. I should have let them decant a little bit. Not even decant. Just let them breathe. So this probably needs a little bit of time out of the bottle, too, especially since it's so young. But what else are you tasting?
I'm getting that tart cherry for sure. I'm getting a little wood or something on it. A little bit of tar even.
Yeah, there's something in there. There's a little rose. I'm getting a little bit of rose, like rose petal.
That little something earthy, like you're saying, even in the taste.
Earthy. There is some earthiness. It's got that sour cherry or like a sour cherry, tart raspberry. It's got a little bit of that flavor to it. It's
nice, though. What would you eat with this?
Oh, I mean, this could go with a lot of stuff. I could see with steak. I could see it with like a cheeseburger. I could see it with a lot of things. Pasta. I could see it with a red sauce pizza. It'd be good with pizza.
This would hold up well with a lot of different cuisines, I think, too.
Roast. Yeah. But I also think like Pinot's a good like bird, like, turkey or chicken wine too. Right. I think it's pleasant. It's got nice acidity. It's pretty good. I think I should have opened it sooner.
Well, the other two will get that advantage.
But this is the thing that I always, it's nice. This is the thing I always like about Pinots is they're not heavy. They're not, they don't smack you in the face. They're more subtle. They're a little bit like more complex in their flavors. They kind of like change and taste a little bit over time. I just feel sometimes like when you get a California Cabernet, it's like, blam.
Well, and I think too, these wines add balance. Like they're not like countering anything. That's what I like about them too. When you first introduced me to Pinot Noir, I was a little nervous because I'm not a big red wine drinker, just on a daily basis. But yeah, it was exactly what you're saying. It's very drinkable. It's got body, but it's not overpowering.
It's not punching you, and it's clean. It cleans off the tongue. It would go really well with food. So I think it's a nice wine. What rating would you give this wine, Carmelita?
Well, I think I'm going to give it. I think I would definitely have a glass of wine. I buy a glass of wine. I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay. Right now, I'm giving it a 7 as well. I like it. I'm really irritated with myself that I think I should have opened it a while ago and let it breathe a little bit. But it's nice, and it's got a really nice, clean Pinot Noir kind of flavor to it. That little cherry tart, and it's nice. It's super
price
pleasant.
Point is
$16.99.
Wow,
it's super pleasant. Like it's a nice wine. Okay, we're gonna take a little break. And I should have mentioned this. I didn't mention this about our wine rating system. So again, what we do is we rate wines.
Heck?
I know, I'm sorry.
No.
We rate wines on a scale of 1 to 10. 7 and above means we're going to buy it. 4 and below means we're going to pour it down the sink. And in between 5 and 6, hey, we will drink it probably, but we might look for something else.
Right. No, this is definitely a good
We're going to buy
7.
it. Mm-hmm. So QPR, so far, good. Good QPR on this one.
Agreed.
So now we're going to take a break and we're going to try our next wine and see if it has a good QPR as well. All right. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our next Pinot Noir, and hopefully one with a high QPR. This is the McManis Family Vineyards Pinot Noir. It's from Lodi, California. The producer is McManis Family Vineyards. This is a 2021, so it's pretty young, but only $12.99, 13.5% alcohol. And again, this is Pinot Noir plus a small amount of Petit Syrah. And again, wine enthusiasts gave this a 90 and called it a best buy. Carmela, what are you smelling?
Well, it's very different than the first one, and it doesn't really strike me as smelling like a Pinot.
It doesn't. And I'm like, I don't think it has
it's getting a little better, though.
I don't think it has a super pleasant smell. I kind of like getting a kind of a gluey, like kind of a, I don't know.
Yeah,
and also
it
like
smells a little alcohol-y.
Alcohol-y. It was good. It smells a little perfumey.
Yeah, there is
a little
something
bit of perfume.
like kind of like cheap perfume.
Cheap perfume.
Or something. Because at first I was thinking maybe floral, but I don't think
floral.
I think
that's cheap perfume floral.
Yeah,
you know
maybe
what I mean?
dried flowers, like something dried.
Dried flowers is good. Actually, dried flowers is good. You know what it almost smells to me like a little bit? Like frosting. Like a flavored frosting.
It definitely has an artificial smell on it. Something kind of artificial. Like a food colored frosting.
I got it now.
What?
A crayon. It smells like a crayon.
Oh, weird.
To me.
It's a little waxy.
It's got a crayon. Yeah, it smells like a crayon to me. Like a orange. Like if crayons had flavors, smells, it would smell like a berry or flower.
Is it
crayon.
A blue flavored one or a green flavored?
No, it's red. It's red flavored. This is it's kind of pretty color. Okay, let's try it because I'm very curious to see what it tastes like. It tastes better than it smells.
Yeah, it's sweet.
It's real sweet. It's got like a sweet like not frosting
like a
anymore.
Pixie stick.
Yeah,
sweet.
it's very sugary tasting.
Yeah.
Like a strawberry starburst or a strawberry candy.
Yeah, it's so strange
or
that
red,
there's not
like a red starburst. Maybe it's not
fruit.
strawberry.
I mean, added fruit. It seems like there's like added sugars to this. Something artificial about it. But it's not terrible.
It's not, just doesn't, but you're right. It strikes me as very sweet. And it doesn't have a lot of depth to it.
No.
It's kind of like
not very complex at all.
No, it's not. But again, it's pretty young. We didn't open it up.
And this is the one this is a 2020.
This is 2021.
Oh, you were saying you thought this was going to be
too young, and a little bit, but it's not like they described it. Some were describing it, I think, as warm or something. Oh, it's particularly warm.
It's kind of cool.
You're kind of cool. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. What would you eat? Would you eat anything with this wine?
Well, I think a lot of the same foods. But I don't think it's going to give you the same balance as that I like in a Pinot.
Yeah.
Where it's not overpowering. I think I'd probably get kind of tired of it after.
But what would you eat with it?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to stall, honey. Give me some time here. No. Again, I think you could do, like, for whatever reason, what's popping in my head is some sort of like chicken sandwich.
That's
like something
good.
bready
That's
with
good.
it. Something like
a toasted chicken, grilled chicken sandwich or something.
Or a panini, some sort of panini.
Panini's good.
Yeah, with
cheesy
something,
panini, Cuban sandwich, something like that. Yeah,
I think
could see that.
For some reason, I kind of am thinking you would need some bread,
but with cheese. I think cheese. I think bread and cheese. Yeah,
I mean, who doesn't want bread and cheese?
Some people don't, but I'm with you.
Yeah,
I think this is a sandwich.
You could do pizza.
That. Pizza would do fine. I think grilled foods too, like they have to be, like grilled vegetables and that kind of stuff. It's an okay wine. Like I'm not bagging on. It's kind of tasting to me like too licorice. It's got a licorice taste.
Yes, it does. Again, it's all this kind of artificially
like a red vines. This is more like a red vines than a Twizzler.
It doesn't feel very pure. Like the.
Oh boy, she left her phone on the table and somebody texted her. Now she's going to look at the text.
Oh, it's my son.
Okay, stop. This is what drives me crazy. Put it away. Put it away. Okay. No, what were you going to say?
I don't remember.
Licorice.
I'm just saying you're so sweet, honey. But really, doesn't feel very natural.
Oh yeah. And they did add the Petite Syrah to it, which to me is like, did you really need to do that?
Yeah.
I almost said that, but I couldn't quite spit it out. Yeah. Anyway.
What are you getting? What kind of rating?
This one I'm like battling to give it more than a 5. What do you think?
Well, the thing is that I think I'd finish it.
Yeah.
It's not some of those wines that it's not offensive. It's just it's like a little underwhelming.
You know what I'm feeling like? What? Exactly what we talked about. I want it to be great.
I know.
And it's just merely good.
And you're probably sad to call it a Pinot.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like over judging it. I'm being too judgmental.
Yeah, well,
I'm over judging.
No, but at least you're judging. You're a little critical sometimes.
Yeah, I am. What rating are you going to
give? Okay. I'm going to give it a 6.
You know what? I changed my mind. I'm giving it a 6 because you know what? I felt a little bad. It's like I was overgrading it. It's like, your big brother was real smart, and so you should be too. So the fact that you're not quite as smart means I can't give you an A. But you know what? That's not fair.
You got to look at the
you need
individual.
to judge it exactly. Judge it by what it is.
I agree.
And it's not bad. It's not bad.
No.
It's not bad. No. I just don't. If I were to choose to buy a Pinot, I don't think I would buy this one.
No.
I would drink it. If somebody said, hey, we've got this Pinot and you want to drink it, I'd be like, yeah, let's drink it. Let's drink it down. I'm happy to drink this sucker.
Wow. Okay, now the edit. Good job. Good job. Changing that frown upside down. Wait, is that how it goes?
Turning your frown upside down. Which is actually a really hard thing to do because I can't stand on my head.
I want to see that. Can you do that for me?
No, I said I can't stand on my head.
I would love to see you stand on your head.
No, you wouldn't because I would have to go to the hospital after failing. I would like blam on my head on the ground.
No, you wouldn't. I never even...
I don't know what.
What kind of headstand are you doing?
I trust me, I would be damaged. Okay. Some damage would happen.
Then don't do it.
I'm going to do it.
No. Help. No,
I'm not doing
it. Podcast is over.
Okay, here we go. We're going to take a break and we're going to try our last wine and see what we think.
Okay.
All right. Okay, we are back and we are ready to try our last Pinot Noir. This one is called the Pinot Project Pinot Noir. And unlike the last two, this is not a screw cap. This has a real cork to it.
It's fancy.
Yeah, so this is from California, but it's from all over California. Monterey, Central Coast, and the North Coast. The producer is Skurnik Wines and Spirits, which sounds like a terrible name for a wine, but that's okay, or Wines and Spirit creator. This is a 2020, so a little bit older. $12.99, so same price as the last one. Got it at wine.com. It's like all the other ones. It's 13.5% alcohol. It's 100% Pinot Noir. And again, this one got a 90 from Wine Enthusiast and a 90 from Jamesa Sakalinga. So that's how his mom calls him. I don't know what that means. What are you smelling?
Okay, so it reminds me of the first one. Definitely more. I'm getting some cherry.
Yeah, this one reminds me of the first one, but it's sweeter smelling. The first one was tartar. Had more of a tart, not tartar sauce, no, but more of a tart smell. This one has a sweet smell. But you're right, different than the middle one had a different smell. But I'm also getting flowers on this one. Like I'm getting some rose petal on this one. It's nice. It's got less wood than the first one.
Yes, I would agree with that for sure. I'm trying to, but there's something cheers. There's something I'm trying to get.
A little spice on it, little pepper, a little spice on it. Maybe even a tad bit of like sweet tobacco.
Yeah, maybe it's the spice. Maybe
I think there's a little tobacco on it.
Okay,
like a little pipe tobacco.
I don't know. There's something I'm trying to. Maybe it is. Maybe I think the spices is what I'm getting. Some baking spices.
Like what? Like what baking spice? Cinnamon A little cinnamon,
maybe. Cinnamon.
Maybe a little paprika too or something.
Maybe a little hot spice. Sure. A little bit spicier spice. But
sporty spice.
Maybe a little bit of allspice.
Or allspice, which is all the spices.
No,
it's not.
It reminds me of kind of a fall wine.
Okay, but it's nice. It's got a really nice smell. It does have kind of flowery. I'm getting flowery too. Let's taste it and see what we think. It's nice. Ooh. It's tart.
It is tart.
It's more tart than the smell is.
Right, for sure. And it's actually a little like bolder than a Pinot or something. I feel like it's a little bit robust. Do you think?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, it reminds me a little bit more of a Cabernet.
Well, I will say this. I am noticing this. It has more of a body to it than Pinots usually have.
It doesn't taste oaky. Like there's no wood, doesn't. But it just kind of is like
it's a little more body, a little more tannic maybe than a than a Pinot Noir usually is. It's nice. It's very pleasant.
It's very nice.
It's enjoyable to drink. It's super smooth. Tart. It's tart, but it's very smooth. I'm trying to think what else.
Yeah, it's nice and it's very pretty and it's dark. It's actually quite dark. Darker? You don't think so? You think it looks like a Pinot?
I think it's the lightest of the three.
Oh,
for sure.
I don't know about that.
No,
really?
For sure.
It's not as I feel like it's darker than a normal Pinot, though. Do you think?
No, I think it's kind of we're disagreeing, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's pretty classic Pinot looking.
It's pretty.
Pretty. You're pretty. Okay. What would you eat with this Vino Rosso?
I could do a nice bowl of bolognese. I feel like something like this could stand up to something like that, and would be delicious. Be very complimentary. What do you think?
Like, you kind of made that chili last night with
the lentils,
turkey meat and lentils. We are nerds.
We're on the program.
It was good.
We're on the program over here.
We are on the program. Trust me, I need to be on the program. If you know what the program is. If you don't know what the program is, you don't need to be on the program. But if you know what the program is, you know that I need to be on the program.
No.
You've seen pictures of me? Anyway,
no.
That's why we don't do a video podcast.
What are you talking about? Wait, I fixed my hair, right. Remember?
They would look at you, they'd be like, bruto. Anyway,
no.
Okay, so...
no, I married you.
Yeah, I think so. We all know that you married me. That has no bearing on anything other than you have no taste. Okay, so let's keep going here. I'm with you, though. I think... could go with roasts. I think you're right. I think it has more body, more like...
It can stand up to more...
Bigger.
Yeah,
it's bigger
exactly.
Than the
You're
going
to want to have food with this.
Yeah, so in this way, I totally agree with you. I think if you're more of like a Cab fan, I think you would like this Pinot better than the first one. Because the first one to me is more of a classic Pinot.
Right.
Where it's like a little bit thinner, a little bit more austere, a little bit like more like fine.
Right.
And this is a little bit bigger. I think if you are... if you're wanting
that,
a bigger red wine,
right? And that's the options are like the Pinot, and then something else that I don't even know, like a white wine. You're going to go for this Pinot.
I think that's a really good call. Yeah, I could see this with like steaks and burgers and like red meat.
For sure. But I like the idea. I like what you said about like a roast. Or thinking that's why it kind of feels fall to me. It could taco. Yeah, a taco would be good. But something in a slow cooker too is something. Anything that you like. A roast would be good in a slow cooker. I think you already said that. I'll just say it again. A roast would be good.
Keep saying it. It'll get better.
Okay, so what about that roast?
Oh, that's a great idea. How about in a slow cooker?
Yeah.
Okay,
or Dutch oven.
Oh, don't say Dutch oven. Because people would just think, I love a good Dutch oven.
What's wrong? I don't know. What's wrong with the Dutch oven?
Oh, God, look it up on Urban Dictionary. Dutch oven.
Really?
Oh, God. Anyway.
I always put my foot in my mouth.
No, that's just anyway, forget it. All right.
Did I say something dirty?
You did, and you didn't know it. It's not really dirty. It's just, anyway, what rating would you give this wine?
God. You know what? Our youngest would just be... cracking up at me right now.
You'd be like, Mom. Okay, so what rating are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay, I am too. I like it. You know what's funny is it is, like, I think you nailed it. It's different than the first one. I retried I just poured it again just because I wanted to try it. The first one is kind of, to me, a classic Pinot, very cherry, very raspberry, real, like, real like tart fruit up front, easy to drink. This one's a little richer. I think you're right.
I think so.
So I think you nailed it.
So what did that change after it was sat out for a little while?
Not really. I'm kind of sticking both with a 7. So I think, so my opinion about it is, I think they're both, I think the first and the second, so the Pinot Project and the District 7, good.
Wait. Pinot Project and the District 7. Yeah. Not the middle one.
Not the middle one. The middle one I would drink. I just don't think to me, it doesn't have a great QPR.
Right.
These two have a good QPR.
It's not a good representation of Pinot either.
No, these two have a good QPR. And I would say just because the last one, the Pinot Project, was $12.99, I think it's a good, that's a good QPR. And you serve that to friends or at a dinner party or something, people are going to enjoy that wine.
Yeah, for sure. But I do think the District 7 is a little more traditional Pinot. Like if you're looking...
my taste, so this is like, if you were going to finish one, which one are you finishing?
I'm going with the District 7.
That's me too, because it's more of a kind of a classic Pinot.
Fight.
No, we're not going to fight over it because I'm going to win. No, but I do, again, like I'll just say, I'll repeat myself like I do every episode, but I think the Pinot Project is a really good choice for more of a general, like, if you have people who are like, I'm not sure I like Pinot, give them that.
True.
And they'll like it.
True. That's a good point. Like some people who are like, oh, I don't really want Pinot.
Yeah.
It's a good compromise.
Totally. Okay, so let's talk about taste profiles that we would expect from a Pinot. A classic Pinot: cherry, raspberry, clove. You were getting the spices. Mushroom. Remember I said like earthy? And vanilla. In France, you would have mushroom, cranberry, plum soft, pastille candy, which is a gummy candy, and hibiscus. You would get hibiscus. A Central Coast will often have raspberry sauce, plum, gunsmoke, vanilla, allspice. Wow, Carmela. Wow. And cooler climates of tart red fruit, warmer climates like blackberry, black cherry, blackcurrant. I don't think we got any of those. I don't think we got the warmer climate, even the Lodi one.
We were really more tart than like a dark black cherry.
Yeah. I think so. So here's what Decanter said about the District 7. Fresh red fruit scent with herbal notes, ripe strawberry on the palate. Wine enthusiast said crushed slate, strawberry, and bay leaf aromas, warmed by sandalwood and dried cherry, baked cranberry, and orange rind flavors. Those are weird. Okay. McManis.
Orange rind.
Yeah, weird.
Interesting.
McManis wine enthusiast said mulled plums, cherries, and subtle vanilla and cinnamon notes.
Okay.
That was one you were getting a lot of spice on, wasn't it?
The McManis?
Was that right?
No, I
which
think
one?
More in the third one. I was getting kind of dried flowers with that.
Yeah, you're right. We did get that. And then the Pinot Project Forbes says pomegranate and baking spice.
Okay.
Dark cherry, blackberry, and 5 spice.
And so actually that paprika would fall into that 5 spice.
No, 5 spice is more like a Chinese spice.
Oh, no paprika in there?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
I know what you're talking about.
Wine enthusiast says classic red and black cherries, light cinnamon nuances.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were saying cinnamon.
Yeah. And James Sakaling said fresh herbs, strawberry, and hibiscus. Like, what the hell is he talking about?
I don't know.
Anyway, so I think good, like fun. First of all,
super
really good.
Fun.
I think we found some good QPR. We're going to do this again as long as people, out there in listening land, you let us know. Was this worth your time? Do you think we should do this again? I think it's really fun because I think it's fun to try and find wines that you like that aren't high priced. Like, this is great, and I love Pinot. So this is a great opportunity to just try some different wines.
I love it. And I do feel like this was a success. I mean, these are some solid wines.
Totally.
At a great price.
Yeah.
Like you can't. Oh my God, can I not talk tonight? And why are you imitating everything I say wrong?
I didn't know.
No, but really, it's a good idea to try these wines.
That's what you have to do.
But I also think for people like there's 2 out of 3 that I would definitely say.
Definitely buy.
Go for it.
Yep, exactly. All right. Well, we want to thank you very much for listening to us. We are the Wine Pair Podcast. And while you're thinking about it, why don't you subscribe and maybe give us a nice rating and review too? We would really appreciate it. And we'd love to hear from you. Like we said, we'd love to know, do you like this episode? Should we do something like it, something different, more of it? You can reach out to us on our website, thewinepairpodcast.com. You can email us at joe@thewinepairpodcast.com. You can follow us on Instagram, not Instagram. That's your Instagram ma. And you can follow us on Counter Social, which is our Twitter alternative of choice. And you can DM us and reach out to us and just tell us what you think. And we hope you tell your friends and your family and your loved ones and your mom.
And the people who like Pinot Noir.
And the people who like a good bargain. And
month end.
That's right. That's right. And so, and post them month's end. And so, again, thanks for listening to us, and we'll see you next time. And as we like to say, life is short, so stop drinking shitty wine. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
Always drink too much. Always drink too much.